day to all. Allow me to share my reflection, never counting the cost, a life of a mission. I'm broadcasting this video here in Sanctuary of Fatima, central of Portugal. As a missionary, it is profound encounter with the heart of Mary and the urgent call of the gospel. Surrounded by pilgrims seeking hope, healing, and peace, I am reminded that evangelization begins with deep prayer, personal conversion, and quiet witness. Walking the path where the shepherd children once heard heaven speak, I feel called to embrace sacrifice, reparation, and love for sinners, not as ideas, but as a lifestyle. Fatima is not just a place of pilgrimage. It is a sending ground where the message of Our Lady becomes a personal mission to bring Christ light into a world longing for truth, mercy, and peace. This journey has been long and not without sacrifice, but also deeply blessed. We have grown older, yes, but we have never grown tired of doing this divine work. If anything, the fire burns even brighter with time. We have been given the great privilege to serve in many forms. What began a local mission work evolved into something much larger than we imagined, as God opened the doors of nations before us. Through His grace, we were part of opening new countries to the mission in the continent of Americas, places where the gospel needed to be rekindled in the hearts of our fellow Catholics. Some were nominal in practice, disconnected from the richness of their faith, but deep down, still hungry for truth. In this mission, we saw firsthand how God prepares the way. We did not arrive as saviors, we came as servants. And God moved. Communities were stirred, hearts were opened, churches began to fill again with sound of renewed worship. We also found our work not only about the spiritual hungry, it is also about the physical suffering. That's why we took part in the spearheaded medical missions, outreach effort aimed at the least, the lost, and the last. We brought medicine, yes, but most importantly, we brought love, the kind that says, you are seen and you are not forgotten. We treated wounds, listened to stories, and prayed over the broken. And every time we felt the presence of Christ walking among us. The afflictions in the mission field were real. We experienced rejection and fatigue, the burden of leaving home, sometimes illness, sometimes spiritual attacks. There were even moments of deep discouragement, but we always return to one truth. God is present in every mission. Even when we don't see immediate fruits, even when the soil seems hard, He is working. Psalm 34:19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. What makes this work not just sustainable but joyful is the belief that the mission itself is a gift, not something we do for God, but something God allows us to do with Him. This is the mystery of grace, that He uses imperfect vessels like us for something eternal. 2 Corinthians 3:5. Not that we are competent in ourselves to claim anything for ourselves, but our competence comes from God. Our frustrations in the early time of doing mission in different countries are language barriers. We trace the challenge back to the Tower of Babel, Genesis 11. We see how the division of language was born from human pride and disunity, and their desire to build a name for themselves apart from God. Humanity's common language was confused, scattering them across the earth. What could have been means of unity became a barrier, making understanding and true communion impossible. But at Pentecost, Acts 2, God reversed the effect of Babel. The Holy Spirit descended on the apostles, setting them ablaze with courage and giving them the gift to speak in many tongues. People from every nation, heaven, and heard and understood the same good news in their own language. What pride had once divided, the Spirit now united. Evangelization was born, not as human effort, but as divine mission empowered by the Holy Spirit, breaking down barriers and gathering the nation back to God. This is why we hold tightly to the call, Live Christ, Share Christ. This is our daily commission, not just for Sundays, not just for formal missions, but for every part of our lives. Because when we live Christ, our lives become a testimony. And when we share Christ, we echo the heartbeat of the church. In the work of evangelization, we are called to give ourselves completely, without measuring the sacrifice, without holding back. Just as Christ poured out His life for us, we too are sent to share the gospel with generosity and courage, even when it demands our time, our comfort, our resources. True mission does not count the cost. It trusts that the Lord who calls also provides, and that every offering made for the sake of souls is never wasted. Thank you for watching. God bless us all.